Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. Could you please,
I pay for this seat. I have a right to recline.
but you're crushing my knees.
Not my problem.
From this perspective, guys, screw the earth.
What you just witnessed wasn't bad manners. It was a textbook example of what economists call a negative externality. Passenger F gets to recline their seat, that's their right, but they're taking space from passenger B without compensating them. There's no mechanism for this transaction to happen, but imagine if there was. We went back to our passengers to ask them, hey, if you could pay £5 to recline your seat, would you?
I think I will.
Hey, if someone offered you £5 to recline their seat in front of you, would you take it?
Depends on the length of the flight, maybe. Anyway, it's just like a meal deal, isn't it?
Congratulations, you both just invented a market. The space becomes a tradable commodity. Passenger F weighs comfort against cost, and passenger B sees lost legroom as an asset to sell. Both can win, what economists call a Pareto improvement.
When you introduce a price mechanism, you're internalizing the externality. The person causing the problem now has to account for its full cost.
So why doesn't this market exist?
Well, that's the interesting question. So there is this thing called the code theorem. Ronald Coase basically asked, if externality create problems, why don't people just, talk it out? And his theorem says that if there are zero transaction costs, there are no awkwardness, there are no barriers, and then people will just always negotiate their way to an efficient outcome. It doesn't matter who technically owns what.
That sounds ideal, so what's stopping it on airplanes?
Well, there are three big obstacles.
First, it's completely awkward. You need to turn around and tap on some stranger's shoulders, and you need to propose to them a financial transaction. It's so awkward. I just can't.
It seems like the social transaction alone is killing most deals before they start.
So I think even if someone pay me not to recline, what about when they fall asleep? How can they prevent me to do that? I think there's no contract about that.
Incomplete contracts and no enforcement mechanism.
And the second problem is property rights. Who actually owns that space behind the seat when it reclines?
I assume the person in front?
You'd think that, but airlines never explicitly defined it. Is it the front passenger space because their seat can recline, or perhaps it's the back passenger space because it's in their zone? The current system assumes everyone values space equally, but some people want to stretch out. Some would gladly pay more for extra room, but there isn't a mechanism for them to do so.
So the market's missing because...
Well, high transaction costs, unclear property rights, incomplete contracts, and basically a one-size-fits-all solution that's not fitting anybody.
Going live now to a special announcement from Skytrade Airlines, which claims to have solved this very problem.
Thank you for joining us today. We at Skytrade Airlines are proud to announce the launch of RECLINE X, a revolutionary seat allocation platform that creates a functioning market for airplane space. For too long, passengers have suffered through the uncomfortable lottery of seat reclining. RECLINE X changes everything. Here's how it works. Before you fly, you will access our platform through the Skytrade app. You will indicate your preference for seat space on a 5-point scale: minimum, below average, average, above average, or maximum. Our intelligent matching algorithm will analyze requests from all economic passengers on your flight and calculate a market clearing price. If you want more space, you pay a small premium, typically less than the cost of a meal deal. If you are willing to give up space, you receive compensation, paid directly by those who value the space more than you do. Before boarding, you will receive your seat assignment and either a small charge or credit to your booking. Everyone gets exactly the arrangement they are willing to pay for. No more conflicts, just efficient markets, even at 30,000 feet. But does this actually create a Pareto improvement? Let's look at the mathematics behind the recline X. Let's consider two passengers, F in front and B behind. Both start with the same initial space SO and the initial money budgets MF and MB respectively. We define PS as the market price per unit of space. We model each passenger's utility using Cope-Douglas functions
where UF equals to SF to the power of 5 times MF to the power of 1 minus 5, and UB equals to SB to the power of beta times MB to the power of 1 minus beta,
where phi and beta are preference parameters between 0 and 1. These parameters represent how much each passenger values space relative to money. So higher values mean they can care more about space. When F reclines and takes space delta S from B, F must compensate B with money delta M. This creates budget constraints for each passenger. For the trade to occur, both passengers must be at least as well off. Taking derivatives gives us marginal utilities, and we can derive the conditions under which both benefit.
While referring to the initial positions, we said that neither F nor B should get worse off out of the transaction. And this gives a range where the ratio of changes in space and money should be. Note that the transaction should still obey Pareto conditions even if F and B reverse positions. Giving another similar inequality, the intersection of the two ranges gives the only condition for a successful trade, which links the two's preferences for space proportionally to PS. And this is exactly what RECLINE X calculates, the price that guarantees mutually beneficial trades across the entire aircraft.
We spoke to passengers who tried RECLINE X. Not everyone was impressed.
I mean, we have to enter all those reclining angles and the prices we want to pay or receive for it. That's very inconvenient. I don't understand what's the point of this. So,
I require considerable space, so I want to pay a lot for more recline angle. However, when I set a price close to previous class, no one match. I think this is a problem that your reserved space is too small. I don't know how to solve it.
I have successfully matched the people behind me, but the person in front of me doesn't use the app, so he left me with far less space than I expected. I could only focus on the space behind me and expect the space in front of me to be normal, and the whole system is disappointing.
So what have we learned? Missing markets emerge when transaction costs are high, property rights are unclear, and contracts are difficult to enforce, but technology can reduce these frictions. The question isn't whether this is a perfect solution. It's not. The real question is whether it's better than the status quo of silent resentment and arbitrary outcomes. Markets don't solve every problem, but where voluntary exchange can make multiple parties better off, markets provide a mechanism for discovering mutually beneficial trades, even at 30,000 feet.